Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of Foster's Handy How-Tos, a video series in which I take you, the player, through the different ways, how-tos and details of every activity available in the Altis life of Steve. Now, I've just got to push the point, everything that I will be covering in this video is subject to the Altis life of Steve. Any server's experience may differ with locations, prices, and other activities. Now, what we're going to be covering today in the very first episode is probably the very first thing you'll be doing as a Civ if you join the Altis Life of Steve server, and that is collecting apples and peaches for your starting bread and butter money. Now, we're going to be covering several portions of this activity to go in as much depth as I possibly can to help you, the player, get through this the best way as you can, provide you all the information so you have no questions asked at the beginning of this. Now, one of the first points I want to cover is funding. The great thing about apples and peaches is there is literally zero funding required. You can do apples and peaches with $0 in your account. It will, however, take quite a bit of time. Now, what you do want to have in your account when you start apples and peaches is $7,393. This is due to the fact a quad bike costs $2,939 and a backpack costs you $5,000. Now, this backpack is the carry-all backpack, which is the largest in the game, which will allow you to carry as many apples or peaches as possible. And the quad bike, which can also carry items, is mainly for transport, but I'm going to get into that in a bit more detail in just a second. Now, the first thing you want to be doing is purchasing yourself the carry-all backpack, which we previously talked about. Like I said, that costs $5,000 and can be found at Bruce's Outback Outfits as shown on the map. All you have to do is simply walk up to the clerk, scroll your mouse wheel to go in the shop, click on the drop down arrow, go to backpacks, click on your preferred carry-all colour, and click buy. Here you can see it costs $5,000 to purchase. It's nice and easy. Now that you have your carry-all backpack, you want to purchase yourself a quad bike. To do so, you simply want to head over to the car shop in Kavala Square, as seen on the map. The car shop will be inside this small building, adjacent to the main road. Simply walk up to the clerk, scroll your mouse wheel to enter the car shop, and purchase a quad bike. You can also see there are a variety of different patterns available, so you can choose the one you feel most stylish with and click buy. Usually once you've purchased your vehicle, it will appear in this area shown in front of you. However, as I'm a classic example of a perfect citizen, I've moved my quad bike into the allocated parking spaces, which you must remember to always park in if you're coming to Kavala Square, as it gets very agitating if you park in the wrong space. Now, to get into your vehicle, all you have to do is simply press U to unlock it. This will allow you to get into the various seats and access the inventory of the vehicle. To lock it again, simply press U. Once you've got the hang of how to access your vehicle, you can simply hop on and prepare to drive to either apple or peach fields, where you can harvest your apples or peaches. These can be found at the location shown on the map. The location of the apple field is just to the east of Kavala Square and can be found right here. Peach Fields is just up the main road to the north and can be found at this location. Both locations are safe zones, so you cannot be harmed. So now I'm heading up the road towards the Peach Fields, and I'd just like to draw your attention to a certain feature on screen. As you can see, I'm travelling at speeds of around about 45 km per hour. This is the standard speed limit inside all cities and towns on the Altis Life of Steve, so if you want to avoid getting yourself a ticket of $1,500, be sure to try and stay below the speed limit. Now we're just approaching the peach fields, which can be easily identified by the group of trees on the left hand side. So before you cross, you want to make sure you check both ways so you don't hit any oncoming traffic. That way everybody can have a safe and pleasant journey, and you can nice and safely harvest yourself some fruit, whether it be at apple fields or peach fields. Now, to actually harvest the peaches or apples, all you need to do is head over to the trees where they're located, scroll your mouse wheel, and middle click on the option to gather peaches, or in some situations, gather apples if you're at the apple fields. After a certain amount of time, your character will complete an animation, and you'll be informed that you've gathered a certain amount of peaches or apples. If you hit Y, you can see that you now have 3 peaches or apples inside your inventory. Y is the standard button to access your inventory to see your money, licenses, and carried items. Simply keep gathering peaches until you fill up your inventory, and then you can move on to store items in your quad bike. Now once you're full up on peaches and you attempt to gather more, you'll be informed in the top right hand side of the screen your inventory is full. But this is no problem for us, as we've got our quad bike. simply head over to your quad bike and press T. This will bring up the quad bike's trunk, where you can store items inside the quad bike. As you can see, there are 50 slots available, so we can put 50 of our peaches inside. Now we can continue picking peaches with the knowledge that we still have some more stored in our quad bike for later on. Once you and your quad bike are both full of peaches, you'll want to drive down to the marketplace, which can be found in Kavala Square. The marketplace will be found inside a burger kiosk, so be sure to get all of your peaches outside of your vehicle to maximise the profit that you will make. Once again, this can be done by pressing T and transferring the items over. Now that you've got your peaches or your apples, simply run over to this man, who's normally in a fully constructed kiosk. Scroll your mouse wheel and click the market. You can see on the right hand side your inventory and on the left his inventory. Simply click on your peaches, type in how many you have and click sell item. And there you go, you've just made some money. Simply do the whole process over again without purchasing another quad bike or backpack, and you can keep earning money. So now you know how to collect peaches and apples and how to sell them, but you probably want to know a bit more information, such as long-term profitability of peaches and apples and when you should probably stop collecting them. Because to be perfectly honest with you, apart from doing delivery missions, I would say peaches and apples are the worst way of getting money in the entire game. Now, if you were to continue doing peaches and apples for an hour solid, you would earn different amounts of money depending on which one you did. Peaches earns you a little bit more money and would earn you $62,700 per hour, so it takes roughly 6 minutes to do a full peach trip. Assuming apples took the same amount of time, you would earn $57,000 per hour, as peaches sell for $55 per unit, whereas apples only sell for $50 per unit. As this is not the best way of making money, after a short amount of time, you will want to move on to copper processing or iron processing. However, I'll be covering this in the next video, teaching you what you'll need and how to do it, providing all the information on copper and iron processing that I have done for apples and peaches in this video. So thank you for watching this instructional video. I hope it's helped you out a great deal. As I've said, copper and iron will be the focus of the next instructional video, but afterwards I'd like you to tell me what activity you want explained to its full extent next. Any and all activities will be covered eventually, but it just helps to know what you want to see and when you want to see it. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the server.